Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your May 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Virgo, May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Virgo. May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Virgo. May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels. Okay, 2 extras. Let me move everything down just a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now, the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And of course, we have our bonus cards. We have the 4 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles. There's something around money here that's coming up. And there can be a feeling like there's not enough money, but yet at our root, there is prosperity. So that's a good thing. It's like things get resolved, but crowning us is the sense of I have to hold on. I have to hold on because the way that I'm looking forward, the battles that I've been through, it's a lot. And there's something that we're starting here. It could be like some of us are starting their own company. You know, it could be that there's something that we want to do. And this is a time where we're not feeling as secure, okay, as we want to be. But there's going to be something that we have to face. And it's going to be something that we've faced before. It's going to be, yeah. So we're going to need to see more, of course. But then there's prosperity. So that does, yeah. And then there's the King of Pentacles, which is, of course, us in the major arcana, in the minor arcana, coming through as a king. But there's also financial success at the heart. There's this way the world is opening. The Queen of Wands, we can be having a bit of difficulty with a fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But there's also a sense that we are looking at the same direction. So that does get resolved. And then we have the Hermit. Virgo energy, time frame August 23rd to September 22nd. We have the Page of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Once again, this could be a child coming through or a very energetic child that is really taking up a lot of our time, a lot of our attention, during this time period. And it can be for them that we're looking at things. It could be that we're worrying about savings in the future just a little bit too much and not enjoying the present. The star is Aquarius energy, time frame January 20th to February 18th. We have the Ace of Swords, and we have the Seven of Wands. We're going to have to really know what battles we want to fight and which ones that we're just going to have to let go. Or else there is a sense of like, I'll just be fighting forever. We have the Page of Swords, so we're definitely taking this gift. We're also becoming a student of our mind and what we want. And then we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, time frame October 23rd to November 21st. This is a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. There is a sense that things aren't as they seem. And so during this time, that's actually going to be a really good thing for us because it's not what we thought it was. And so there's a power to the discovery during this time. So let's see our chakra energy. Virgo, May 1st to the 15th, 2021 Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. Okay, these two, which are determination and forgiveness. So determination is the solar plexus chakra, and forgiveness is the heart chakra coming through. And that's going to be really important because we're going against the current during this time. It could be that we're heading down a direction or towards something that we never really expected, but it's such an intrinsic part of us. It's part of our wish, it's part of our desire. So if there's something here where we've been wanting this for a really long time, it's like now's the time to go for it. But to the extent that we're smart. Now, it might be that we wanted to create something, okay, or we wanted to start our own business or do something like that. But we have to keep working in our regular job to be able to pay the bills. And this is a time where we start saving up the money and looking at things, but also being very mindful of where things are going, okay, and what's draining us emotionally, physically, spiritually, prosperity, okay, because vampiric energy is coming forward, and that's going to be something that makes us doubt that we can move forward the way that we want to. And since we're swimming against the current, it does feel a bit like, oh my gosh, I'm in a trap, or oh my gosh, this is never going to end. It is. There's a sense that the heart chakra coming forward, that there is a forgiveness for the hurts and the pains that we have been through, that we have put others through, that we have put ourselves through, and forgiving others, that's good, right? It is good to forgive others. But where the real power comes is in forgiving ourselves. It's forgiving ourselves for expecting something from somebody who proved they can never give it. It's forgiving ourselves for being naive or, always believing in the best in people. And it's being able to open the door through that forgiveness, which really starts to break the ties of the vampiric energy, because the vampiric energy usually comes from those that we know, okay? And those that we have some sort of relationship with. So just being mindful of that as we're looking at our way forward, because there's something here, it's like, I really want to do this, but I always feel tethered back. So there's something here that we're looking at, that we're releasing ourselves from, to be able to embrace what we want. And of course, didn't I say Virgo energy right here with the Hermit, which is, of course, you, Virgo, coming through. And this is a sense of, I didn't even realize. I didn't realize I was at the root of my heart, at my soul, of myself. And so that's going to be very powerful. And it's moving towards the prosperity, not towards the chaos. So that's also going to be a really good thing during this time. Now let's see the energy that we need to be mindful of. What is the energy that Virgo needs to be mindful of? May 1st to the 15th, 2021 Virgo. What is the energy that Virgo needs to be mindful of? May 1st to the 15th, 2021 Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. Excuse me. So we have right here the Prince of Pentacles, Earth sign energy again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is a sense of somebody we're going to get on with because they're the same energy as us. And earth sign energy is attracted to earth sign energy. Air sign energy attracted to air sign energy, and so on and so forth. So here, there is a sense of somebody moving forward slowly and steadily towards prosperity. And because they have an end goal in mind, because they have a tenacity to them, we're going to feel very drawn. But where they're headed and where we're headed is two very different things. So that's going to also be something that we have to be aware of, that we need to be focused on what we want and the bigger picture of what we desire. Because again, we come right back to the vampiric energy, and it's like, I can be taken off course. I can be drained and overwhelmed. Why? Because it's playing into this energy cycle that I'm already in. And it can be that work is draining us. It can be that home is draining us. It can be, a million things in between is taking our energy. But what we're going to see here is that we've been programmed for this. This is a way we cope. This is a coping mechanism that has been developed. Usually coping mechanisms get developed in childhood. And this is a sense of, well, I know how to deal with this. And now if we're dealing with an empathic person, if you are an empathic person, okay, who's watching this, the drive in an empathic person is to say, I'll just give more energy. I'll just give more energy. I'll just care. I'll just understand more. And that's going to be one of the things that we have to forgive ourselves for if we are an empathic person, or even just having empathic traits at times where it's like, I need to forgive myself for not being able to fix everything. I need to forgive myself for saying I need to let go because it's not changing and I need to move forward for me. And there's something here, it does come with money. Now, it can be something where we're walking away from money, or it can be that we're looking at the money that we have and we're thinking, oh my gosh, if I let go, I won't have anything. And this isn't saying to take unnecessary, crazy risks. This is saying that it is time to release the pain, the hurt, the chaos, the anger, the upset, to be able to move forward. It's releasing the mindset of, if I try, I might lose what I have. So it's better to stay in the hurt and pain that I know than to open up the door and try for something more. And it leads us to the Three of Wands. It leads us to wanting to open up that door, wanting to look at things, wanting to have our eyes opened and say, this is where I want to be. This is who I want to be. This is what I desire. And there's a real sense here of looking at a new horizon. And we follow this to our dreams. A sense of a new horizon, a sense of looking at the world, looking at ourselves in the world and where we want to be, how we want to move forward. And so there is an opening of the door. There is a sense of beauty and prosperity and bounty coming forward. There's a sense of seeing hard work paying off, maybe not all the time, which is par for the course, but in real tangible ways. Also, we might have had to go through a time where we thought we were going to lose everything, or everything was really tested, to let us know what we truly want, let us know what we're truly focusing on, or where we truly want to focus. And it leads us to the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is the sense of, I don't want to deal with this again. So that can be what's coming in, like as we're moving forward. It's like, I don't want to deal with this hurt and this pain again. I don't want to deal with this person who always manipulates the situation, always, moves things towards what they desire. We can also be that person who smirks as people walk away because, I'm more than you expected. I'm bringing more to the table than you realized. And so there's a power here, but there's also a sense of having to deal with somebody who takes advantage very easily and very purposefully of things. And it's really saying, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be manipulated that way. I don't want to always have to be proving myself. I don't want to always feel like it's never going to be enough, because it has to be enough. And it moves me towards the Nine of Pentacles, which is prosperity and wealth and bounty. It's having the hawk, blindfolded. I forget what the cap is called that you put on a hawk in falconry, so that they don't see everything. You take off the hood when it is time for them to hunt, but you don't take off the hood before, because you'll never be able to keep the attention. And this is a time where we might need to put on blinders, just like that. Might need to sit there and say, okay, I'm focusing on this. Usually, Spirit warns about us getting hyper-focused, having that tunnel vision and not seeing anything else. This is a time where it's not the tunnel vision. It's not only seeing one thing and just saying, well, that's all I can see. That's all there is. But there is a sense here of looking at something and looking also at a job well done, looking at prosperity that is coming in or the building towards that prosperity, looking at a way to celebrate ourselves. Self-care, is going to be important during this time, because we can feel like, oh my goodness, I just have to work. I just have to do this. I'm just going to kind of, the equivalent of throwing my hair up in a ponytail and just running out the door type of thing. If we take time to nurture ourselves, we're going to find ourselves really opening, really kind of blossoming in beautiful ways. And so this is going to be a time where we have to look at that for us, and where we have to take in the beauty where it comes, because there's going to be a lot of hard work that comes at us. So if we don't take this time to, kind of metaphorically sit back in the hammock and let the sun warm us. We're not going to be ready for what we have to stand our ground for and what we have to, the backbreaking work of the bringing in of the harvest. And that's what Spirit is saying. Our hearts are ruled by us. And that's a really good thing. It's ruled by us, it's rooted by us, but there's a sense in between of passion, of work, wanting us to go in a different direction. We have to stay true to ourselves. That's just going to be important. The sense with being rooted by the hermit, being rooted by who we are. And in the public arena, we have the star. We have our wishes coming forward, right? And in the hermit's lantern, we have the star. So we have that star. We have that beauty coming forward with us, guiding us, leading us towards more, towards a greater understanding. And what happens with the King of Pentacles, with ourselves, is that we have that prosperity. We have that vineyard motif that's in the background here, now adorning us. And we have the prosperity coming forward. We have the pentacles that were used to guard us, now no longer guarding our solar plexus or our chakra points. Now we're seeing ourselves open up and say, this is my prosperity. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is who I am. This is how I'm moving forward. The king is seen. During this time, our hearts, our passions, our determinations are seen. People can comment on it. People cannot. But they definitely take note. And this is a time where we start to look at, where do I want to be? What is it that I desire? What is it that I want from my life? And that's where we start to see the world, not as this vastly terrifying place, but where do I want to stand within it? Do I want to be, always going from one place to another? Or do I want, something calmer and quieter? How is it that I want to move forward? How do I see myself interacting with the world and coming together with the world and moving forward in my world? And there's a sense here of the fears that we had. They're still in the back of our mind because there is that vampiric energy that we really have to address in order to be magnificent. But there is a sense here also of, how is it that I want to move forward for myself? Not have anybody else guide me forward or lead me forward. Where do I stand for me? And it leads us to the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands always makes me think of Hestia in Greek mythology. And I know if you're, if you've been here, if you're a part of this family, you're going to think, oh, Dane, the Hestia story again. But Hestia gave up being a main goddess for being a smaller goddess, not one of the main ones. And she said, everybody doesn't need to know my name. But because she said that, because she gave up her title so that there wouldn't be more fighting and there wouldn't be more bloodshed and there wouldn't be more chaos, people knew her name. She was the goddess of the hearth. Every single Greek and Roman had her as the goddess at the center of their home. And so she wasn't one of the main Olympians. She wasn't one of the big ones. She was still intrinsically important to their day-to-day lives, culture, and self. And so the Queen of Wands asks us, what's important to us? What's the passion? What's the fire? What's the desire that makes us who we are? That's the hearth of our existence, that brings forward our new dawn. Where's the magic in our lives? And where do we want that to expand and grow and become? And how do we want that to expand and grow and become? The Queen of Wands is not afraid of getting her hands dirty. She's not afraid of, standing up for what she believes in, being courageous. She's crowned, above her with the lions. And she has growth. This is new growth. This is, the planting of the seeds. And the Hierophant, and the King of Pentacles, he plants the seeds, nurtures them, looks at them. This warms them. Without sunlight, nothing grows. And then it brings us to the essence of ourselves. We start to see the way that we move things forward, the way that we want ourselves to become, what we're striving for. And it lets us look at our passions and our desires. But it also says, okay, world, you need to be quiet for a moment. I'm not living for everybody else. I am living for me. And I'm being guided by what I need and what I desire and what I see and what I hope for and where I stand and why I stand there. And I'm opening up the door. I'm seeing things more clearly. I'm gaining an understanding. But there is going to be a definite need here, Virgo, for ourselves to turn inward, for ourselves to look at what is important to us, and to say to the rest of the world, okay, that can be important to you, but now I'm taking in the beauty of what's important to me so that I can soak it in, so that I can be a part of me. And it leads us to the Page of Wands. Now, it's very interesting. The Queen doesn't have any of the Ouroboroses on her, but the Page does. So it's the serpent eating his own tail. So all the male cards have that, the Page, the Knight, and the King. Here, she has the sunflower. She has the lions. She has the lions above her head. She has fierceness. She has competency. She has a cat, which, is a tamed lion, a little, tamed house cat, but has lion blood within them. So there's a power here to us. And there's a sense, as we're learning, it's taking on the feminine and masculine aspect. Now, one could argue that the Ouroboros, the serpent eating his own tail, is only there for the men, because there are always rituals to become a man. There are no rituals to become a woman. You become a woman. You are a woman. But there are always rituals to be a man. And at times, you will see that you get it. It's like, oh, this is the exact knowledge of what I need to know, the exact power of where I need to be. And at other times, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't. And it's not saying that the Queen doesn't feel that way, but it isn't as focused on, So here, there's a sense of, as we're learning, the masculine side of us, okay, that part of us that conquers, that drive, that solves the problems. At times we're going to have all the answers. And at times we're going to be searching really hard and feeling like we're playing catch up. There is a real sense here of power and determination, of focus, of insight and ideas, of questioning, of seeking, of desiring what makes us feel not only alive, but like we're moving in the right direction, like we're where we want to be. And it opens up our eyes and it shows us the star. The star is our wishes, our hopes, and our dreams. The star is the balance of the earthly plane and the spiritual world. The star is us looking. And what's really interesting is, as we're looking for our hopes and our dreams, divinity is looking down on us. The spirit world is looking at us and saying, this is what you need. This is what your soul is longing for. But it's not necessarily always what we want. So this is where things can get tricky. It's what brings the vibrancy back to life. And that doesn't mean that it's the most exciting, that it's the most daredevil thing. But it does mean that it enhances us, that we see colors a little bit more sharply, that we are a bit more inspired, that we are driven and focused. And so here, when we look at the star, when we look at our wishes, when we look at the moment where our dreams set flight, and we think, what could come of this? We start to see that we're guided by this moment always in our lives. That's why Virgos need time to step back, to connect with themselves, like not with everybody else, but with your own personal ideas and ideals and soul and passion and desires. So that you see, when they start to come forward in the public arena, when we're moving towards these goals, it's like, oh, this is what I wanted. This is what I needed. This is what I desired. This is what I was moving towards. And it cuts through so many doubts and fears. The Ace of Swords is knowledge coming in. It's divinity handing us a gift. It's a sense of knowing our voice a bit better than ever before. Saying things with ferocity of spirit, having tremendous insight and intellect and understanding, cutting through so much of the chaos and the hurt that had defined us, that had kept us back, that made us think, I can't do it. And now we see it, oh yeah, I can. I absolutely can. And it moves us then. So now we're inspired. This is also us being a student of our breath, a student of our words, seeing the power of the way that we define ourselves. It's also focusing on our breathing, what's healthier for us. I have Wim Hof listed in the description box below. Go to his beginner's one, focusing on the breath, focusing on the power of the body. It's extraordinary. And it leads us then to the Seven of Wands. What battles do we fight? And which ones do we let go? What inspires us? And what doesn't? There's a sense with the Seven of Wands to pick our battles well. And why divinity is saying here, pick your battles well, is because if we're always fighting, we're always draining our energy. It's always going. But if we connect, and we connect to what we truly want and need, and we say, this is what I want, this is the hill I'll die on, this is what I stand for. and we stick to it, then people tend to listen better when we stand up for things, when we voice our opinion, when we have this fiery passion, this determination that guides us. And it leads us to being students of our mind, being students of what we desire, looking at things more openly, more honestly. Again, being a student of our breath and our voice, the words that define us, the words that tumble in our heads. Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they raising our energy vibration? Are they lowering our energy vibration? How are we moving forward? And where are we moving to? It brings us then to a rebirth. A sense of who I once was is gone. And that can be sad. It really can be. It can be sad. It can be upsetting. It's like, I didn't want this change. I didn't ask for it. But it is the change that comes to everyone in life. That's why you have the woman, the child, the man, the king with his crown fallen. And then you have the Pope standing before death. None are safe from the great equalizer. And we have in the background the scene from Fear, the pillars and the sun or the moon rising. And the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's the sun and the moon. So, well, it looks like the sun and the moon. So here we have fear, and we have the inevitable. So it is inevitable that we will feel fear change, because we're human beings. We like our comfort. We like our routines. That's just who we are. And so here, there is a deep sense of things are changing. Things are being reborn. And there's a need for acceptance for that. Or else there will always be a sense of, I could have prevented it, or it wasn't supposed to go this way. There's a need to understand that every time in our life has a season, has a reason. We may not ever understand why. But there are going to be moments where we think, wow, if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't know this. And it might not be why we had to go through that whole scenario, understand all of it. But it could just be for a moment, to give depth and breadth to what we are creating, to the connection of humanity. And it leads us then to having defined the Five of Wands. So let's see here. I mean, not the Five of Wands, Five of Swords. Please define the Five of Swords. Please define the Five of Swords for Virgo. Please define the Five of Swords for Virgo. Because I want to see the battle that you're going to be going through, that's going to be coming our way. Oh, there we go, that was very nice. So we start here with the Page of Pentacles. So it has to do with us learning. Things move quickly, the Eight of Wands. The Knight of Cups, it has to do emotionally. And we'll feel like we're moving forward in a different direction than what we're paying attention to. It's like, wait a minute, I feel pulled in two very opposite but very intense directions. And then it leads us to the King of Swords. This is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is dealing with somebody who is a student of their mind, who knows their mind, who knows what they want, who can be very cutting, who can be very to the point. They're not going to mince their words. Why? Because they might never have been that way. You know, they might always have been very plain, frank speakers. It's like, this is what I say, this is what I mean. You're not going to have to worry about it or wonder about it. But there is also a sense here of being more kind of business-minded. There's something to do with business that is coming up, all right? And it's like there's prosperity here, but you're going to be taking a different path than the one you expected. And with us being a student of our prosperity with the Page of Pentacles, it's being a student of where we want to be. We're going to be learning something. It's around us and the way that the door is opening, but it's also around our passion, our ideas. We're going to be finding something. It's like, oh, that's the missing key. That's what I needed to see. And it moves us then to the Eight of Wands. Things start to change. We start to change. We start to see things more honestly for ourselves. We also start to have to think on our feet a bit more. And it brings us to our hearts and our minds, again, going in, at times, different directions. We're looking this one way. We're moving forward this way. It's like, can I juggle everything? Do I understand everything? Do I know what I want? Do I know what I need? Do I know where I'm headed? And the King of Swords is like, enough is enough. This is a person who, if we're confused, takes the reins themselves and says, this is the way you're going. This is where your horse needs to go. This is where you need to go. This is what you need to go after. We're going to find ourselves defending our hearts, but always looking over our shoulders. So there's something that needs to be resolved from the past in order for us to move forward in our future. in our present. It's emotional. It's something that calls on us to be a bit of a warrior, to go into a situation where other people may not feel comfortable, treading. And this is a time for us to be open, honest, logical, and straight talking with ourselves. And so it starts to open up things. It starts to open up our ideas and our understanding. We're also going to be dealing with somebody who very much boils things down to just tell me the facts. Just tell me the facts. Show me the facts. Show me, where it's going, what it's heading towards, or what you're heading towards. Spell it out. And then I also want to see here. Which one was it? Yeah, it's the Seven of Wands. Please show me. Please define the Seven of Wands for Virgo. Please define the Seven of Wands for Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay, and the Knight of Wands. It's the passion of defense. There's going to be a sense of thinking, I'm going to have to defend it all, or we're going to come up against a fire sign energy, again, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, where we think, I have to defend this. I have to defend this person. I have to use their own weapons against them. And this is a real sense here of I move forward in my knowledge, in my power, going after what I want. There can also be a sense of feeling betrayed, cheated on. A person wasn't as honest with us, wasn't forthright with what their intentions were or the way that they wanted to move forward. And so we feel betrayed, and we're going to think, oh my gosh, I have to fight this betrayal all the time, or call out this betrayal in every single person, like this certain way of being that has to do with being hot-headed, that has to do with being more interested in lust than anything else. And so that's going to be something that we need to look at, okay? And it can be somebody who cheated on us in the past, right? Somebody who was very driven, by sexual exploration or even emotional exploration. And there's a sense here of having to build back up that trust, and it's made us very defensive. So we have to own that part of us and say, you don't get to define my life anymore. And then let's look at the Four of Pentacles. Please define the Four of Pentacles for Virgo. Please define the Four of Pentacles for Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay, these two. We have the Two of Earth and the Five of Wands. Interesting. So the vampiric energy comes from chaos for the sake of chaos. The Five of Wands is fighting chaos, arguments over the littlest things that can just blow up. It can be everybody just being very much on edge. And it's the way that things are controlled. It's like if you can't have your feet firmly planted on the ground, and that's where the Two of Pentacles comes in, and you have to still balance everything, it's just going to make everybody grouchy. It just is. So the Two of Pentacles is not balancing ourselves and trying to handle everything for everybody else. And this is a time where we need to look at what is needed, what is desired, what we want for ourselves, how we need to move forward, what is needed for those who rely upon us, of course, but also the fact that we can't burn the candle at both ends and think that anything's going to come out perfectly. And the Five of Wands can be that person who just sets us on edge. They just do. They come in and they just add that bit of chaos, and they're that vampiric energy that makes us feel drained and overwhelmed, and they put one extra thing on our plate for us to be able to balance, but we can't balance it because, everything is just too much. So that's going to be something to be aware of. Because it can ruin everything, because it's going to make us think that I just have to be better. But there's a sense of, no, I don't have to be better. I just have to release some things from my plate. And we're going to think, well, if I release things, then I can't move forward. Then I can't go after what I want. I can't have what I want. And that's not going to be the case at all. So let's look at our spirit guide message. Or spirit animal message. Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. And this is the dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. And that's going to be so important during this time for us, to be loyal to what we love, to be loyal to who we love, to be loyal to who we are and what we desire within our world. Our subconscious spirit animal message is the eagle spirit. Spirit has your back and always will. Spirit will help you fly higher and see clearer than you ever could. So let Spirit have your back and guide you forward. The subconscious chakra message is Mother Earth, the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below your feet. This is a sense of connecting with nature, with what nurtures us, what leads us forward, but also with the chaotic aspect of nature, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the blizzards, the earthquakes. It's not always having to be perfect or calm or that nurturing, caring person. It's also embracing that chaotic strength that nature has. And knowing that those parts of our personality are both important. It leads us then to our subconscious person message, which is the Prince of Swords. We're going to want to charge forward. We're also going to be very intrigued by people who charge forward, who seem to have a very clear-cut idea, because there's so many variables going on during this time that we think, well, if I just knew, if I just had a clear-cut way of doing it, it would be better. And it's like, okay, fair. But there's a need to step back, to see what it is that we want, to see how it is that what dragons it is that we need to slay. The hurts, the pains, the angers, the upsets, the fears, and then to open up the doors to ourselves, to what we desire, to what we need, to what we want. And it brings us then to our subconscious message, which is the King of Pentacles. This is claiming our prosperity. This is knowing our wealth and our worth as we look at things, as we look at ourselves, as we open up the door. This is putting the crown on our heads and claiming the throne. It leads us then to our subconscious, to go deeper into that subconscious. And the 3 of Earth. The 3 of Earth is the collaboration, it's the coming together, but also knowing the work that we put in and not letting other people take credit for it. So it's a give and a take. It brings us then to the world. The world starts to open. We start to see things more clearly, more decisively. We have the dreams that come after the fairy tales, after our mind is open, after we start to see the wonder. And it's like, oh. And that's the connection to the star. It's like we have to see the wonder to be able to embrace it, to be able to become a part of it, for it to be a part of us. And then it moves us to the subconscious message for this whole entire reading, which is the 2 of Swords. Ways are going to be opening up to us that we didn't think possible. And that's what starts off the reading. It's like, I thought it was always going to be like this. Or I thought this battle was always going to be going on. But then we start to see. Then the doors start to open. We start to have greater insight, greater ideas to things. And it's like, oh, this is where I need to be. This is what I desire. And this is what I want. And this is me. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we stay focused in what we're fighting for, and not letting people drag us off course. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo.